think the first thing is we've seen a tremendous change in the world in the last year and a half. And UNICEF has changed how it does business as a result of COVID. First and foremost, we were rapidly changing to use digital platforms to help children to learn in what ended up in being a huge lockdown with hundreds of millions of children out of school. So we worked with television, with radio stations, and with IT companies to develop digital education opportunities for children. Secondly, we realized how important it was to be able to make sure that parents also had the right tools to help care for their kids, many of whom were at home. So we started using and developing apps for parenting, which allowed parents to learn some of the basic skills for coping with many kids at home. And we are now working with partners, including in Qatar, with the Ministry of Education and Higher Education. And in September, there'll be a launch for working with teachers, because we know for teachers to teach digitally, they need to be adequately trained, and for working with parents, so parents know how to accompany their children in education and learning. So the world has changed, and so has UNICEF. For me, when I look at the past year, I recognize that the world is even more interconnected than we thought before. The importance of being able to respond to the COVID pandemic has meant that UNICEF has built on some of the platforms it has had for years. Immunization has been one of our most important programs, and we recognize now the challenges to vaccinate the world so that this disease does not spread further. One of the things we've done is partner with industry, with business, to make sure that the right products are getting to the right countries on time. We're part of the COVAX facility, which has allowed us to distribute vaccines on behalf of partners globally. We've signed procurement arrangements with many countries, and we've really taken this opportunity to scale how we work in the healthcare area and with health system strengthening. So for me, I see a huge change in interconnectedness, recognizing that even though children have not been the face of this pandemic, they've probably had the most impact. When you look at children who have lost parents, when you look at children who are out of school for many years, when you look at the impact that this pandemic has had on violence within the home, and ultimately when you look at the impact this has had on learning, because not all children have had access to schooling. And it's why some of the partnerships we have in Qatar on working with digital platforms for learning, on expanding education in Giga, we're working with Qatar Foundation and also Silatech to broaden the possibilities for learning and skills development for young people. Because what we've also learned is it's not just about what you know, it's also about how do you collaborate with others. And equipping young people for the skills for the 21st century is going to require a different way of knowledge, imparting knowledge and sharing knowledge, and skills development. So the importance of collaboration, the importance of problem solving, the importance of coming together to connect, to have the right behavioral skills are critical elements. And the partnership with Silatech and Qatar Foundation will help deliver on that agenda. So I think the first thing that I've realized is how important it is to invest in children. We say children are the future, but children are also the present. What this COVID pandemic has done is it's demonstrated to us that not all families and all communities are impacted in the same way. Those that are poor, those that are marginalized, those that live, children with disabilities, those who live in minority communities, those who are in rural, remote areas, have not had the same access to digital technology to learn, have not had the same access to COVID prevention, whether it's masks, gloves, the ability to wash your hands frequently. We take those for granted. And so the inequalities have been further exacerbated. But what this has also done is help realize that this is a global community, and there's a potential to share knowledge, expertise, and the opportunity to invest. So 5 areas that I think are pivotal for children. First is to continue vaccination. And that means building trust amongst parents, amongst health workers, amongst communities. The second is transforming how children learn. And that means access to school, but also blended learning approaches and working with parents and peers so they can start mentoring children. The third is reducing inequalities. What COVID has also taught us is no one is safe until everyone is safe. So making sure that there's access to services in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of social protection. And then lastly, I would say engagement. COVID has also taught us about the importance of engaging with communities, with religious leaders, with young people themselves, so that peer-to-peer learning happens, and we convince communities about the importance of disease prevention, the opportunities for learning, the opportunities to invest in climate and our environment, which is really important for young people. And we recognize that managing resources, water resources, are an extremely important element of engaging with the next generation of leaders. And that next generation of leaders is the children that we have here today now.